well. Considering they're seeing that for the first time today. Bachpan bhi jaye. Bachpan bhi jaye means childhood will go away. Jawani bhi jaye. Youth will also go away. Our youthfulness, childhood will go away. Youthfulness will go away. And all the people my age who are sitting here, please, all the younger people should also listen to this. Everybody will say in chorus, in unison, what? Just yesterday I was in high school. Correct? I see, ask her. Just yesterday I was in high school. In a flash. Bachpan bhi jaye, jawani bhi jaye, young youthfulness. And budhape ka hoga? Asar dheere dheere. Definitely, old age will come. Budhape. Then, tere haath, pav mein bal na rahega. The hands will lose strength and the legs will lose strength and you can't walk from here to Tapovan anymore. And then what? Hands will lose strength and legs will lose strength. Then, jhukegi tumhari kamar dheere dheere. Then what? The waist will bend now. From exclamation mark, he gone to question mark. Is it correct or not? The waist will bend. Then, shitil ang honge ek din tumhare. And then one day, all the limbs will give up. All the limbs will give up. And they start from inside. So nowadays the medical terminology for that is organ failure. Multiple organ failure. Shitil ang honge ek din tumhare. One day all the limbs will. Fir mand hogi nazar dheere dheere. And slowly the eyes will. Who come? You will ask, who come? You will know somebody come, but the eyes can't see. That means, so before that happens, the last verse says, before all of that happens, the last verse says, no? Burai se man ko apne hata le. From all the worldly things, wrong things, materialistic things, all the, what do you call it, the snares of Maya and all of that. Burai is a big, burai means bad, actually, literally. Bad in Sanatana Dharma means anything that is worldly and that will take me away from Bhagwan rather than close to Bhagwan. Burai se man ko apne hata le. Take away the mind from all of these worldly things and all. And then, sudhar jaye tera jivan dheere dheere. And bring it to Bhagwan and slowly, slowly, life will, everything will pay off. Everything will happen well. Means the life will turn out to be well. So even when I have to go, there'll be, I'm going. Bye-bye. Happy bye-bye. I want to go. Jo karte rahoge, bhajan dheere dheere, go on slowly chanting bhajan. Mil jayega wo sajan dheere dheere. He'll meet Paramatma. Right. Okay. Now, let me see if I figure out this computer now. Right. Got it. Every night I tell you a different bhajan, isn't it? I don't know what I will tell you tomorrow. We'll chant. Salutations to Bhagwan Ganesh. Salutations to Mother Saraswati. Guru. And then we'll do Gita Dhyanam. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishal Buddhe Pullar Vindayatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetra Kapane Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagagurum Krishnam Vande Jagagurum. Chant that first line again. Om Parthaya. All together. Om Parthaya
Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini.
Just the first line. Om Partha. Go.
Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam.
Bhagavata. Several voices saying Bhagavatam. Okay. You have to pay attention. Actually, that is caused by a lack of attention only. Just a little attention. Okay. Radhe 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 Govinda. Sab gaiye.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda. Sab gaiye.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
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 Radhe 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 Govinda. क्या बात है?
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda. Hari bol.
Radhe 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 Govinda.
Radhe 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 Govinda. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव
मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव
मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव
मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव
हेम कुर्वत सञ्जय
किम कुर्वत सञ्जय
हेम कुर्वत सञ्जय
किम कुर्वत सञ्जय
जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
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 जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण सब गाइए
जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
ओ जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
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 यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण
यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिः तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिः तत्र श्री विजयो भूतिः तत्र श्री
विजयो भूति
ध्रुवानी तिर्मतिर्मम
ध्रुवाणि तिरुते मम
ध्रुवानी तिर्मतिर्मम
ध्रुवाणि तिरुते मम
जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण
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 Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Okay, so if you're joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we have clubbed the Gita into 3 sections. The first 6 chapters dealt with Karma Yoga, which we saw in the first 3 days. The first 6 chapters. The second 6 chapters from 7 to 12, they deal with Bhakti Yoga. We saw that in the following 3 days. And for the last one day and today and tomorrow, at least these 3 days, we'll be seeing the last section from 13 to 18. And those chapters deal with Jnana Yoga. And I told you last night also that that requires a little bit of intellectual application. Nothing is wrong with Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and all that kind of thing, but I told that the human being is made up of 3 basic parts. We have a physical side, we have an emotional side of our being, and then we have also the intellectual part of the being. And lopsided development is not something which is prescribed in the scripture. Lopsided development is not prescribed anyway. I mean, even now in universities and all, they try to give you a well-rounded education. That is what they say. That's what they claim. So if you are in the sciences, you have to take something in the arts also, and like that. Some courses outside your field, so that you know what is going on in the world. And it's good also. So now, we have to develop all the parts of the personality. It is not that we work without understanding, or we just become a victim to the whims and fancies of our emotions and just act whimsically based on emotions only. No. We have to think, even emotions have to be thought through. When something arises in the heart, some emotion arises in the heart, we have to do some thinking. And today, actually, in the 14th chapter, we'll see some verses regarding that. Something arises in the heart, we have to stop and think. We have to be calm. Because emotions actually are the most pervasive. Whatever goes on in the antakarana, means the inner instrument, is many times not logical rationalization and all that kind of thing, but what goes on inside is emotions. There is a barrage of emotions from morning till night. I feel this and I feel that and I feel the other thing. And sometimes, and I told you there's no rationality, no rationale for emotion, nothing. Emotion just happen, right? We don't know why. Like when you say, I see that person, my blood don't take him. I gave that example to you. That's an emotion, but why? But why? You just feel something. And nowadays, the modern society and modern industrialization and capitalism all put together, and the consumerist philosophy and all that which is governing the world, all of these things, they contribute heavily to the influx of emotions in the mind, in the antakarana, and we listlessly become victims to all of this without, unknowingly. And I'm referring specifically to things which they are adding in foods across the globe now, which they call as addictive agents. And profusely it is being used, addictive agents. And so we are eating so many various type of things in which they put so many things which we don't know, and they know how to mask the names and put some other name for something and like all that sort of thing. But those things, when we consume them once, twice, 3 times, the next time the desire, likeness and emotion just arises. I feel into eat that. We say, I feel into eat this and I feel into eat that, and whole day we feel into eat. Correct? Whole day we feel into it. So modern life also is not contributing to any spiritual development. It's just contributing to a barrage of emotions, feelings, and likes and dislikes, and so many things going on in the heart. And if we don't really stop and do some intellectual rationalization and thinking, and that is why the Rishi tradition is has very strict intellectual obligation on all of us. The Rishi tradition tells that you have to think. Our Puja Gurudev used to say, don't believe any word because the Swami says. Don't believe a word because the Swami says it. You think about the thing. Because it comes, and nowadays, it's amazing. Everything people read, they believe. Everything we read, we believe. And now there's so much of influx of fake news. Amazing. We get some fake news and we quickly share it with everybody. So now in today's world, with all of these fake news and AI and if our thinking capacity is not developed, I'm telling, in today's world, what is more required is Gyan Marg. Because it is Gyan Marg that develops the rational faculty. And in today's world, if that rational faculty is not being used properly, with all of this modern technology, we'll be washed away. It is incredible the amount of propaganda of all types is being used and flooding social media, and we are just consumers without knowing better. So this portion from 13 to 18 is dealing with this jnana marg and the application of the intellect. And now, we say that if we look here, there is something today called as organized crime. You have heard that word? Right. There's something called organized crime. I think that has always been there. And organized crime is all, I mean, like Robin Hood and them fellas was real organized. They were organized well, you know. And Ali Baba and the 40 thieves, you know. Anyway, so, in organized crime, the person, these criminals, they sit down and they work out their plan very well, correct? They plan out whatever they're going to do, and then they go and execute that plan. Very well. There's a lot of intellectual application there. They have to study. They have come to the ashram twice already. So they have to put somebody inside, get inside information, do spying for some time, mark the time that the guard passes here, and where he passes, route, and all that kind of thing, and then have a plan now. When he passes here, 2 of you or 3 of you will grab him, tie him up, this, that, whatever, all that. So the planning and execution is perfect. It's only people who are doing good things don't plan and execute. People who are doing bad things plan and execute perfectly. So what we are saying is, I can use this intellectual faculty and think and plan and calculate and decipher and all the other things, intellectual operations, well, but I can do it in some bad direction. That is what Ravan is to do. How Ravan executed the Sita Apaharan, you know? Clockwork precision. So he used that intellect to do all bad things. That thing leads to eternal bondage. Punarapi jananam punarapi maranam. Again and again. And whatever a person takes in this world, like that, using this intellect to do this bad thing, he had to pay back every single cent. What do you think? Every single cent. That is why the world is going on like this. People are using their intellect to do all the wrong things like this. And see, this is done in a very gross way, but there are very subtle ways to do that also. In big offices and in government and in big companies and all of that, people do all those things very well. They know how to do it. So whatever we take like that, using the intellect, and we take unfairly in this world, every cent will have to be given back. Please see this thing. That is why we have slavery in the world. We have slavery. I told you the statistics with that. See the statistics with slavery. In 200 years of slave trade across the Atlantic. How many? 200 years. They brought slaves from Africa to this part of the world. You know how many they brought? Only about 12 million. 200 years. Today, with all the modern technological development and the AI and all the other things which we have today, all the technology, you know how many slaves on the earth right now? 50 million. Today, go and see the statistics. 50 million. So if slavery has been abolished, 1832, 34, whatever, right? Slavery abolished. Slavery abolished. Why? And this number was just 45 million just 5 years ago. So it has gone up. Why the number of slaves are increasing? Ask na. Think about this thing. There are 50 million slaves on the earth today. In all sorts of situations all over the globe. And that is because we, by using the intellect, figuring out how to take unfairly from this world, how to take unfairly, how to take illegally, how to take kickbacks and take bribes and take the other things and take on this side, well, every cent that I took, I will have to be a slave somewhere. This is why the rishis also never relinquished karma and reincarnation. I will have to take it and be born there as a slave, and every cent that I took, I will have to pay back. Who is causing slavery? There are greedy people on the outside who are prepared to do all the wrong things, but then there has to be victims also. And why would Bhagwan make anybody a victim? If he is the controller of this world, why he will make anybody a victim? He gets a joy from making people victim of slavery or what? There has nothing to do with Bhagwan. Nothing has to do with our karma. And that number is going up. And every single day I'm seeing this. I have to get a share of the pie, you know. Where the contracts have to be given, where this have to be given, where that have to be given. I have to get a piece. So we use the intellect in that direction. That is constant bondage, life, but birth after birth after birth, and payback after payback after payback. And we use the same intellect now to reflect on the subtle reality in this universe. We get mukti. So this Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and all this Gyan Marg is now telling about how to use this intellect really for me to reflect on a higher reality. And in this world, one corruption leads to the next. That goes on and on and on, and there is no end. Right. Last night we started seeing verses from the 13th chapter. I will see some more. This is 13:28. We'll do some reflection on these verses. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, 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 Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwaram. Parameshwara, the supreme reality behind this universe, exists equally in all things. Equally, yeah? Bhagwan, God is not more present in the temple and less present in the bar. No, that is not rational to go to the bar. People like they really interpret things wonderfully in their own life, you know. One beggar was passing in front of a temple. So this fellow devotee now went to the temple and, charhawe and do and, whatever, all the smoke out Bhagwan and all that. Now come out from the temple. And as soon as he come outside, he see the beggar. The beggar say, "Bhaiya, give me $5 to buy a doubles." I don't know how much for doubles. I just say in a number. That fellow get real angry. That devotee get real angry. I just now I opened my. I was praying to Bhagwan like this and closed my eye. When I opened my eye, I saw Bhagwan. Now as soon as I come out of the temple, I seen you. He get real vexed. He said, "Hato, get lost from here." He didn't give him any money. So the beggar left, disappointed. Walking down the road and he passed in front of a bar. A drunk man coming out from the bar. He said, "Oh yeah, give me $5 to buy doubles." The drunk man said, $5, I take 10, buy 2. So the beggar said, "Hey, wow, Bhagwan, you live in there but you're walking here?" But samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwaram. So Bhagwan is present equally in every single thing in this world. And actually, it is these type of verses that also form the basis and the rationale for many of the practices in Sanatana Dharma. That is why we have such a reverence for plants, trees, we worship animals, we worship everything in the universe. Why? Because it is the same Paramatma who is existing equally in all things. And this Sanatana Dharma, we worship everything. What is there in this world which we have not worshipped yet? We worship everything. So, this Paramatma exists equally in all things, and this forms the basis for the practices that have come down in Sanatana Dharma. Vinashyat swavinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. Yashrinoti sashrinoti. He who hears, hears. Here he says, he who sees, sees. This phrase, yapashyati sapashyati, comes throughout the scriptures, and it means he who sees, sees. It means if you can see, you will see. If you can't see, you can't see. Now, that statement has many interpretations, isn't it? He who sees, sees. Means to say that really, the person who understands and sees the omnipresence and the all-pervasiveness of the reality in all things, understands that, and lives his life accordingly, that person really sees. He is the one who is really seeing. बाकी सब लोग क्या करते हैं? सो रहे हैं घोर नींद में ऐसा. Sleeping. We don't sleeping to the reality. Yani Shastra Bhutanam, yesterday Bharati would have chanted in the second chapter. Sleeping to the reality. The reality is all pervasive in all things, and he who sees that reality, he really sees. That is the meaning. Baki sab log andha hai, blind. In spiritual terms, because we don't see the reality, we are blind to the reality. This is what it means. Vinashyatsu, avinashyantam. And that reality is unchanging. It is called as avyayaha, unchanging, avinashi. Here it says avinashyantam, not perishing, not changing. Every other thing, nama roop, which I explained to you last night, names and form, or they're all changing. Names and forms are changing, isn't it? Names change, form change. You know that. That is what is really changing. Like they used to call you, hey boy. Now they call you uncle. Huh? Yeah. There's a point in all of our life when somebody calls us uncle, and then we realize, you see all these people shaking their head, they know what I am talking. So the name change. They used to call you, hey boy, hey this, that. Name change. And one old fellow, about 80 years, and his wife, they were sitting in and eating in a fast food place. And there was another young couple sitting right next to them, now married. These people married 60 years. These people now married. So the old man was calling his wife at that age, at 80 years, darling, honey, sweetheart, dear, all sort of things. So the young fella thought, look at 80 years, how he has managed to keep this marriage together so well and all that kind of thing. And he's still calling his wife darling and this, and I better find out the secret from him. So I will let my marriage also last long. So he went over to the older gentleman and he said, uncle, at this age and so many years of marriage, and you're still calling darling and honey and sweetheart and this and that. What is the secret to your love for your wife? He said, look, beta, the fact is, I forget she name years now. So all these other names working good. Look here. So name changes. Nama, the roop changes. I'm telling you yourself, you will not be able to recognize your own self if you see your picture when you were 5 years old and now. The roop changed. But behind all of the change, what is going on behind all of the change is here, avinashyantam. There is something which is not changing, nothing is happening to it. It remains as is. It's called as avyaya. Avyayaha purushaha. The reality that doesn't change behind. Then, in the 29th, we chanted already, let's chant again, see. 29. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Samam pashyan hi sarvatra, samavasthitam ishwaram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Nahi nastyatmanatmanam, tato yati param gatim.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram. Ishwara. Now see, another name is given here now. Just now what was given? Parameshwara. And the same reality, he has called Ishvara. So many names for Bhagwan also, for the Lord also. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavastitam Ishvaram nahinastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. This line, the second line, is a very big line. What it means is, because we disregard the very substratum of our own existence and the substratum of all things in the universe, because we disregard the Atma, which is nothing but the Paramatma inside all of us, we never pay attention to it. It is called as hinasti. We are actually killing the self. Now, you have to understand that in figurative language, right? We are actually killing the self, meaning to say, suppose you get married and you bring the spouse in the house, and from that day, bring spouse, mouse, everything in the house, whatever. From that day on, you never talk to the spouse again. Then the spouse asks, why you don't talk to me? I did not want to get married. My parents wanted me to get married. So you brought another human being in the house, and then you never talk to that person again. So the person is there. That is like actually slaying the person. That kind of thing we're talking about. So whatever reality is there, at the very substratum of our own being, we never pay attention to it. That is what we do to Bhagwan. That is the idea. So that's like killing Bhagwan only. So he says, but the one, samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavastitam ishvaram, but the one who can see this Bhagwan everywhere, he doesn't kill the self, by his own self. This sentence is used in that way. Nahinastyatmanatmanam. He doesn't kill himself. He sees Bhagwan everywhere. Means he has really given recognition to that thing which is the fundamental substratum of the universe. And such a person, that's why yati param gatim, he gets mukti. The one who can come and who sees the reality existing everywhere. Now, putting the two verses together, you have to understand this, that for change to take place, there has to be a substratum. You cannot look at a movie on a screen. You cannot look at a movie without a screen. So the movie is moving. That's why I call movie. Moving. The movie is moving. But the screen is stationary. The screen doesn't move. Can you imagine if the screen used to move also? And I do not know how many of you remember the first movie you saw. But I went to see some movie with Dilip Kumar. And I see him going on this side. Now you're looking at a screen there, right? So he go on that side. And suddenly the next scene, now he come from this side. I swear that man gone behind the screen and come around like this and come. When you don't understand the technology, that is. I remember my grandfather getting electricity for the first time. We never had electricity in the house. But later on, in the last leg of his life, we got electricity. So I went down the road and bought him a drill. I plugged the drill inside the socket. I said, now press that thing. Things started to spin so nice because of his whole life he turned it like this. You know what was his question? Okay, it is plugged into the wall. If I'm not pressing this button, it's still using current. When you don't understand the technology, you see it for the first time. So he asked, is it still using current once plugged in? You have to explain, no. Only when you press and it's spinning, then it is using. Because he knows he has to pay for the current. So every generation that comes. So all the people now, all the young generation who think that all you're smart and all you know, all your smartphone and all that kind of thing, wait till all you have children. No joke. Wait till all you have children. They could think all you Jurassic. But behind the change, see, this generation changes and that change, and behind the change on the screen, and behind the change in society and in the world and all that kind of thing, there's a changeless reality. Huh? And no, I'm telling. So here is where you have to apply your intellectual might. It is impossible, and it's a rule of the universe now, it is impossible for change to happen if there is something which is not changeless. There has to be some substratum upon which the change is appearing. And that thing has to be unchanging. In other words, just like you cannot know hot without cold. You cannot know good without bad. You will not know what it is. You have to have the contrast. So if you know what is change, necessarily there has to be something which is unchanging. And we are talking about that unchanging reality. These are all rules which are there behind the universe, which we have to study. This Prakriti you have to study. So in 2 verses together, that idea is there behind. And when you have spare time now, you think about it. Oh, really? For change to take place, there has to be something which is unchanging. There has to be. Necessarily, I'm telling. Now comes a wonderful verse. Its sister verse came in the 3rd chapter. Here it is coming now in the 13th chapter. And it introduces now the Prakriti and the Gunas. So we'll chant this verse. And then we'll jump over to the 14th chapter. Because Gyan Marg, we have to study the Gunas. Gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam. Very next verse. Karmani Kriyamanani Sarvashah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Ya Pashyati Tadhatmanam Akartaram Sapashyati. Shri Krishna Sharanam. Prakritya eva chakarmani kriyamanani sarvashaha. Prakriti made up of these 3 gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, alone is the doer in this universe. And yapashyati tatha atmanam akartaram. The atma, the self, paramatma, is a non-doer. It's called as akarta. It's a non-doer, sapashyati. He who sees this, he sees. So now, this is a very deep thing to understand. And let me tell you, see, when the sun rises in the morning, sun rises up, then we see lotuses open. The lotus is open like this, right? So does the sun command the lotus to open, or tell the lotus to open, or demand from the lotus that you must open now? The sun doesn't do. And if the sun doesn't rise, this fellow doesn't open also. In Sanskrit, there's a terminology for that. That is called as yasya sannidhi matrena. And the meaning of that terminology is, or that phrase is, he in whose presence things get done. And that is a force in the universe which you also have to think about. And that is there in the universe. Like, for example, gross example, but I tell you, when I walk in here, everybody stand up. I ever tell anybody to stand up? Did I command anybody to stand up? There's something. There's some kind of thing, isn't it? If in the old days, you used to see when the king is coming on an elephant, right? So then, some people used to be in front. Hey, hello, move from here. The king is coming. Does the king tell these people to go and tell those people, move? No. The king doesn't instruct anybody to do anything. Or the example which is given is the king sitting in the hall, and dance program is going on there, and everybody's doing, light people and music people and actors and whatever, and dancers and different people, they're jumping around and doing all that, and the king does not tell anybody to do anything. Just by the presence of the king, things. Yeah. So the presence of the sun makes the lotus open. The sun doesn't actively demand from anybody to do anything. But in the presence of the sun, the moment the sun rises, get up, boy. The parents also tell the people, get up, beta. That father was waking up that boy. Get up, son. And son was not getting, get up, boy. You know, the early bird catches the worm. This is what the father was teaching to the boy. The boy said, Dad, that is exactly my point. You see what happened to that worm? He get up early. मर गया बेचारा, खत्म हो गया. So the sun rises and then the whole world awakens. The sun did not tell anybody to wake. Yasya sannidhi matrena. So here, Bhagwan's Prakriti is all which we are seeing here, including the sun now. Moon, sun, all the, Milky Way and countless 3.2 trillion Milky Ways. And all of it, so far, they're calling it now the observable universe. The observable universe. But it goes on infinitely. Eh? Science is still in its baby stage. It goes on infinitely. 3.2 trillion Milky Ways and more than 2 billion stars in one Milky Way, ours alone. And every star is like our sun, much bigger, some of them. You cannot fathom the size of this universe. But anyway, this whole, all what is infinite universe is Bhagwan's Prakriti. And the whole thing is functioning in his presence. Yasya sannidhi matrena. And were he not there, if he was not there, nothing will function. So whatever observable universe we are seeing, infinite in its scope, that universe is called as his Prakriti, and with all the laws and all the objects and things included. All of it is his Prakriti. And all things are made up of the 3 gunas. And all of it is functioning by Bhagwan. He is the non-doer, the Prakriti is doing. The sun didn't do anything, the lotus did something. Sun doesn't rise or set, isn't it? The sun doesn't rise or set. The sun, right now, some other place on the earth is daytime. We might have nighttime here, but the sun is still there. You have to think about all of these. See, sometimes our thinking about the nature of the universe in which we are living and all is very poor also. We have to think about the universe. Huh? I went here to see one Amma. That Amma told me, Swamiji, I am not from this village, you know. I come from a village in south. I said, oh, I didn't know, Amma. She said, but when I came here, I was real confused. I said, why? She said, because where I come from, in my village, the sun used to rise on that side. And in this village, the sun rises on that side. Now see, our thinking about the world and all that kind of thing, how? She really told me that thing. The sun, she used to, in her village, used to rise on a different side. There's no such thing. That is only some confusion in the mind. And one fellow told other one, what is that? No, everybody going to the moon. China going to the moon, India going to the moon, there's one going to the moon, everybody going to the moon. What? I will go to the sun. So the other man tell him, what? You're crazy or what? You will burn to ashes. He said, no, I'm smart. I'll go in the night time. When the sun cool. No such thing, huh? So anyway, the sun is in the presence of whom all things on the earth get done. Everything is working. So in the same way, this Paramatma is in the presence of whom all the whole infinite universe is working. This is what is being told. See, Kriyamanani Prakritya eva. The Prakriti only. In the third chapter, same verse had come, just they what we use different forms of the verbs and all that. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. There. So now, the Paramatma itself is akarta, a non-doer. But without that Paramatma, nothing will happen. But at the same time, it doesn't do anything. The Prakriti is doing everything. I'll give you a good example for you to think about this when you're going, right? When you're driving and all, think about this example. Look here. If the car gets into an accident, somebody told me there was an accident today on the highway here somewhere. If the car gets in an accident, you blame the gas? You can't blame the gas, or you'll blame the gas. But one more thing, let me ask you a second question now. If there was no gas in the car, can it get in an accident? Look here. Now what a peculiar situation now. At the same time, if there were no gas in the car couldn't leave the house. Right? But when the car got into an accident, you can't blame the gas. You see? So the gas provided the wherewithal, provided what was required for the accident, which is momentum. A park also. So it provided what was required for the accident, but you still can't blame the gas for the accident, you see. So that gas is called a non-doer, but it is making everything happen. The gas is called akarta, but it is making everything happen. In the very same way, Bhagavan is akarta. This is what, and this word is coming here first time in Bhagavad Gita. Akartaram. 13th chapter, it is so because Gyan portion. Akartaram Atmanam. The Atma is Akartaram. Okay, now, since we have started the gunas, we'll jump to 14.9 and we'll talk a little bit about these gunas because the whole Prakriti is made up of these three gunas, including all of us. See this. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, 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 Jai Shri Okay, so these three gunas are spoken about profusely everywhere, very pervasively in Sanatana Dharma, and we have to study them a little bit. Huh? So you will notice, and this is very, very scientific thing also, huh? You will notice in the universe that we know three things very well, though we usually don't pay attention to it. But we know about inertia. I was like, I put this thing here, and this thing remains right there. It will not move. And the Einsteinian law of conservation of energy and all that kind of thing, we study it. Unless some other force acts on it, it is going to remain right there. It doesn't move. Right. So we know there's an inertia that keeps it there, and unless you put some force, it will not. So that inertia, which keeps things in place, that inertia is called tamas. There's a certain immovability about things. You can't move it. They call tamas. And it manifests like first in inert objects, you put it there, it stays. And then it manifests in our human beings also. How? It says here, Jnanama vrityatu tamaha pramade sanjayatuta. This tamas covers our knowledge, covers our understanding, and all of that. And so we are totally oblivious of the reality which is there inside of us. And it also manifests earlier in the same chapter. He said there it manifests, or later maybe, earlier. He says it manifests as sleep. Now these are the things which we like. Eh? It manifests as nice things which we like. What? Laziness, slumber, sloth, lethargy. Like, you know, people, holiday, chutti. Holiday, people like. Long weekend. Then what you do? Nothing. Lazy. Rocking the hammock whole day. It's some song is there like all that also. Somebody make some song and they're rocking in the hammock whole day. Some place I go and I mention that, somebody says, Swamiji, sing it now. I have to be careful what I'm mentioning also. We have very fun moments in there, I tell you. Anyway, so sleepy, slumber, sloth, laziness, all this, you know, here pramad word is given. Pramad is a very, very nice word. Pramad means inadvertence. It means, look here, you could bet your bottom dollar that that fellow will do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, and understand the wrong thing, and all of that. Pramad. Heedlessness, sometimes it is called. Inadvertence. Totally oblivious of what is going on. And there are three types of people in the world. One type of person, the first type, they make things happen. They get things done. It means they make things happen. The second type of person, they watch things happen. And the third type, they ask, what happened? Means they don't even have a clue that something happened. So that's totally oblivious. All this is tamas. When it manifests in a human mind, it manifests in these ways. Laziness and sloth and slumber, sleep and all heedlessness and all these kind of things. This pramad word is a very nice word you should study when you get some time. Heedlessness, inadvertence. It means oblivious of not paying attention, or what we call as unawareness. Like that. So, tamas manifests here. And when in objects, inertia. We have to make sure that our mind does not tend towards the objects. And the mind gets... Right. Now, rajas is the next quality. It manifests in activity. Now you see, in and amidst all the stationary things in the world, what is so-called stationary, there is frenzied activity, a movement you can't even imagine. Movement going on and on and on. So like for example, this thing we say, it is unmoving, it is still. Right? But really if you do some thinking now, you'll realize it is moving in about 5-6 directions at the same time. It is moving in about 5-6 directions at the same time. We just don't think about it. See, this thing is on the earth. This is on the earth. So the earth is one movement. It is going on its own axis. Spinning on its own axis. It is also going the southern and northern solstice. It's tilting. So that's another movement. Then it is also going around the sun. There's another one. How many? 3 already. Right? Then the sun and the earth together means our 8 planets and the sun, all of them, they belong to a Milky Way. And they're swirling in a Milky Way. Swirling, all of them together. That is number 4. Our Milky Way also is in space moving. 5. And then this thing is made up of atoms with subatomic particles. And all of the subatomic particles in this thing there. Right there, I'm just pointing out 6, which we know so far. But we say it is still. So there's an appearance of stillness, but there's also an appearance of movement. So that movement which is there in the universe, and every single thing vibrating like anything, moving like an activity in the universe, that thing is called a rajas. And when it comes in the human personality now, well, it comes as agitations in the mind, restlessness, it comes as workaholism, it comes as frenzied activity, run, rat race, and competition, and you know how this world works. And honking horn and overtaking and that is rajas. When it comes in the human personality. And the last one is sattva. In the universe, even though you see so many frenzied activities, so many things happening, at the same time, everything has a neatness and a predictability about it. It is not chaotic movement, but everything works by perfect laws. You may not know the law and not follow the law, that's a different matter. But everything works by perfect laws in this universe. That perfection with which things work and the precision with which things work, that intelligence, in other words, behind the universe, because the perfection and the precision and all that is an intelligence. If you plant a mango seed, you will get a mango tree. Not by any form of imagination also you will get papaya. There is a precision and there's an intelligence which is encapsulated in that seed which will give only mango. And then how the tree works and osmosis and everything, all the laws, infinite, all of them holding firm. That characteristic of the universe, that thing is called as sattva in the universe. And when it is in human personality here now, then it manifests as knowledge, awareness, consciousness. Being very much awake, vigilant. Being able to see things very clearly and make proper choices between A and B. A is the choice which is going to lead to the greatest good, and B is going to lead to detriment, and this and that. All that. That is sattva in the human personality. Clear understanding, knowledge, and all of that. You see? So these 3 gunas are there. And in the 14th chapter, Bhagavan tells all 3 of them bind. The sattva guna also binds by sukham. Sukha means what? Sukha means happiness. See, it is only because of sattva I can experience happiness in the world. And when I get the happiness of this thing, then I want a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one, and more, and then I get bound to that. Get bound by happiness. So now, it is these gunas which are doing everything in the world, and the Paramatma, of which I am integral part, that Paramatma is a non-doer. Now, 19 and 20 in the 14th chapter, and I'll go a little bit deeper in this thing now. I warned you from yesterday. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Manyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigachati.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Gunane tanati chatri dehi deha samudbhava.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto mritamashnute.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Sakhanaya Lal ki jai. PBU 2197 and PDR 5193. You're parked too close to the corner. People cannot navigate around. Those two vehicles, if you could please remove. PBU 2197, PDR 5193. Okay. Na anyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashta anupashyati. Drashta means you and I. When we have come to see that only the gunas are at work, then gunebhyascha param vetti, and we see the thing which is beyond the gunas, in the presence of whom the gunas are working. When we see that, madbhavam saha adhigacchati. That person, Bhagavan says, merges with me. He comes to me. In other words, I have to see beyond the three gunas. So now I told you, we will see. The second verse also tells the same thing. Gunane etanatitya trin dehi deha samudbhavan. This body, which is made up of the three gunas, and all the things in the universe made up of the three gunas, when the person has transcended these three gunas, then what? Janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi vimukto amritam ashnute. Such a person, he becomes free. Vimuktaha, he goes beyond the cycle of janma, mrityu, jara, and dukkha. So, janma means birth, mrityu means death, jara means old age, and Dukkha means sorrow. He goes beyond all of this. Vimukta. And amritam ashnute. He enjoys supreme bliss. Now, let us go back to the example before which I was telling you. I'm checking my time. Last point for today. So, I told when we started that emotions rise, right? All sorts of emotions just rise up like that. So now when an emotion rises, in today's world, what you are being taught and what modern commercialism and all is all, promoting and all that, when the emotion rises, what? And all the advertisement and all they have like that only. Something arises in the mind. Well, they tell you what to get. So, an emotion, what? I feel like eating, or I feel like drinking this. That's if I feel. People say I feel. I feel into it, pomsite. Or something, whatever. So immediately what happens is the feeling takes over the personality, and the personality is driven now to fulfill the feeling, the desire which is as a result of the feeling, right? So that time, what the verses are telling, drashta anupashyati drashta, you and I are the drashta, we have to see like this. Oh, that feeling came up inside as a desire. And in the 3rd chapter, Bhagwan says, that kama eshaha, krodha eshaha, rajo guna samudbhavaha, that kama, the desire for eating this thing or drinking that thing, that came only because of the rajoguna. So the desire popped up in my heart for this thing or that thing, that was produced by rajoguna. You had nothing to do with it. That's how feelings are. There's no rationale behind it. I don't know why this thing just came up in the mind. So it is, long ago it says jagawe. It jagawe by what? Rajas. Right? No. Because there is tamas in the mind, the body is immediately kicked into action to go and fulfill that desire. But if there was sattva in that mind, this mind will be able to say now, aha, Rajas has kicked up this desire. But now I will reflect, is this thing good for me? Or is this thing not good for me? If I inculcate sattva in the mind, I'll be able to say, aha, no. This thing came up in the mind, they were kicked up by Rajas. And now the sattva in the mind is now allowing me to reflect. So the sattva now makes the mind reflect. And in the other case, if the sattva is not there, Rajas will make the body run into action. And the tamas is that which makes him not think whether that thing is good or bad. It covers any possibility of reflection, thinking. And so because he doesn't think, he's pushed into action. I'm going to get that thing, Fill into it Deve doubles, I own no doubles from no Kunupia and all. Deve doubles. So he leave Kunupia and gone Deve. Rajas. And it is the tamas which covered the thinking capacity of the mind, dampened the thinking capacity of the mind. And if there was sattva in that mind would have been able to think, no. And let me tell you something. What this process which I just told you here, this thing is applicable in a million ways in every single aspect of your life. In a million ways. Look here. If you are driving on the road and there is sattva in the mind, you will be able to think that there are other users of this road also. Sattva will make you think that there are other users of the road. And the same way that how you want a courtesy on the road, the other person also wants a courtesy on the road. That is sattva. And if there is tamas, who drive, man. You better stay off the sidewalk too when I pass. If there is tamas. He cares nothing with it. Total inadvertence means heedlessness. But these three gunas are all the time at play, and this body, mind, intellect are being propelled by these three gunas and fueled by Paramatma. So I just have to see which guna is playing out at which time and what is happening because of that guna. And when I am able to do that, drashta anupashyati, here I am able to see now the gunas working out. And gune bhyascha param veti, there is the Paramatma, in the presence of whom these gunas are just playing out there, whatever they are playing. And when he sees that, he says, Bhagavan says, Sahadi gacchati mad bhavam. He comes to me, merges with me. He is called as Gunatita in this 14th chapter. He goes beyond the gunas. But this requires a lot of self-application and thinking there. All right. Now I'll stop because this is all heavy matter. This is all heavy stuff. But I warned you from yesterday. All right. Okay. Now let me tell you some announcements. And we will have the Arti at the end. Oh. You may have seen an envelope like this. If you have not seen, this is an opportunity for you to make some donation for... Actually, it is a little bit more than that. Now let me tell you about this a little bit. In this Sanatan Dharma tradition, when we receive knowledge from a teacher, this is tradition. When we receive knowledge from a teacher, we have an obligation by the tradition and by Shastra and everything to give what is called as Guru Dakshina. That is an obligation. It is mandatory. In Chinmaya mission, we have made that thing voluntary, optional, not mandatory. But in the tradition, I am telling you, in Sanatana Dharma, that thing is mandatory. Like, for example, when we studied in Mumbai, at the end, we asked Puja Gurudev, our Guru, that, Gurudev, what can we give as Guru Dakshina? All the Upanishads, and you will see this story, the students approach and ask, what can we give as Guru Dakshina? Gurudev told a very nice thing to us. He said, I don't want anything from you. Whatever I have taught you, you go and give it to all. Go and teach it to all and sundry, free, with no cost. So that's what we are doing. This is our Guru Dakshina to our Guru, to just go and teach. So, those of you, in the mission, we have made it voluntary, optional. For those of you who want to make any contribution like that, you please see this. Tomorrow we will collect. And if you are not coming tomorrow and you want to give today also, that is fine. Right. On the 30th of May, we have our tea party at the ashram. And every year it's a big event. Tea party is a big, big event. There'll be a few thousand people there, right? And we make so many various types of things to eat. There's a list in front of me. And every year we ask people, okay, let us see what is here. The tent, can you sponsor the tent, entertainment, or decoration, or security, or flour, or aloo, or coconut. Whatever we are using there. There's a list I have in front of me here. For those of you who want to see, so many things are required. Garbage bags and hand soap, because when guests come, they have to be able to wash their hands and all that. Paper towel and so many things. Ice, and there's a long, 3 pages of things. So if you can donate any one of the items on the list, please see me after, or see the people at the bookstall, and you'll be able to, you can see this list there also, and see what you can donate for the tea party. This is how we do our fundraiser every year. These are charitable organizations. We don't get government subventions and this and that. We need to have fundraisers in order to run all the affairs of the mission. Okay. From the 8th of May to the 10th of May, we have a yajna at the ashram, and the Chais and Melan is on the 30th of May. And from 22nd to the 24th of May, we have yajna in Ramsing Trades, Rochard Road, Pinal. Okay. I will tell you more announcements tomorrow. Again, let me remind you that Pandit Satyanandaji Maharaj is here again tonight to cover the yajna from Bhakti TV and Bhakti Radio. All right. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए. ओम जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि हिय कमल विहारी हरि हिय कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि हिय कमल विहारी
put our hands together as we take these last few moments to reflect on how absolutely indispensable Bhagwan is in our life. Bhagwan is our mother, our father, our friend, our companion, our learning, our wealth. But even much more than that, He is our very own existence. To that reality that sustains us every moment of our life, we offer our salutations, our gratitude, our prostrations. We sing as the Rishis sang in metered lines in praise of that reality. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhush cha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva deva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Namah Parvati Pade. Har Har Mahadev. Hari Om. Please also.